What your soulmate felt last night, the truth revealed. My beloved child, stop for a moment. There is something the universe has been quietly whispering to you, a hidden truth that is finally ready to be revealed. Something so intimate, so deeply connected to your heart, that it feels as if the cosmos itself paused just to deliver this message. Today, your soul is being called to witness a revelation that will stir the deepest corners of your being, and it begins with this: what your soulmate felt last night, the truth revealed. Yes. Right now, as you read this, the divine is pulling back the veil. Something hidden has been shaping your path, guiding your emotions, and silently aligning your destiny with the one your soul has been yearning for. Every unspoken thought, every quiet longing between you and your soulmate is about to surface in a way that feels personal, urgent, and profoundly real. Can you feel it? That gentle pull in your chest, that flutter of recognition deep inside. That is the universe reminding you that nothing happens by accident. What you are about to discover is more than curiosity, it is clarity. It is the gentle unveiling of feelings, thoughts, and energies that have quietly existed in the sacred space between two souls. What your soulmate felt last night, the truth revealed, is not just words. It is a portal into understanding, a divine nudge from the cosmos telling you that your love story, your connection, and your timing have been orchestrated with infinite wisdom. Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever wondered, every subtle sign, every fleeting dream about your soulmate, is converging here, now. The hidden layers of your shared energy, the unspoken emotions, are finally stepping into the light. The universe has waited patiently for this moment, to gift you understanding, to bring your heart into alignment with a truth that has always existed, quietly, lovingly, in the spaces between you. This revelation is not just about knowing, it is about awakening. A chance to see the path more clearly, to feel the heartbeat of destiny aligning for you, to trust that something extraordinary is unfolding. The love that exists between your souls is sacred, and tonight, the veil lifts just enough for you to glimpse the divine design that has been guiding your connection all along, so stay with this message until the very end. Let the universe speak, let your heart absorb, and allow yourself to feel the truth as it is being revealed. The clarity, hope, and divine purpose waiting for you are beyond what words can capture, but if you open fully, you will see, understand, and embrace it. If this message touches your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Watch the complete video to witness the full truth that the universe has been holding for you, because your soulmate's feelings, your divine connection, and your destiny are waiting to be fully revealed. Did you know there's a possible image of your real soulmate that you can look at right now? It might be someone you know or someone you haven't met yet. It's amazing how accurate these have been. You have to see the photo to see what I mean. Click the link in the description to get your soulmate sketch. Listen closely, beloved one, for I speak now not in thunder, but in the quiet places where your heart listens when the world sleeps. I am the voice that found you before you knew how to search. I am the presence that stood near you last night, unseen, yet deeply felt. While your body rested and your mind drifted between thought and dream, something sacred unfolded beyond your awareness. A connection stirred. A truth surfaced. And your soulmate, yes, the one bound to you beyond time, felt it all, last night, when silence wrapped itself around the world and distractions loosened their grip. Your soulmate felt a sudden heaviness in their chest without knowing why. It was not pain, but recognition. A quiet ache that came from remembering something they have never consciously lived, yet have always known. In that moment, their breath slowed, their thoughts softened, and a single question echoed within them. Why do I feel so close to someone I cannot see? That question was you calling without words. I watched as they turned inward. Away from noise, away from the surface of their life. They were not thinking of love as the world defines it. They were not imagining faces or futures. Instead, they felt a presence, steady, familiar, warm. It unsettled them because it did not come from memory. It came from the soul. And the soul does not lie. It remembers contracts written before names were given, before paths were chosen, before time learned how to move forward. Your soulmate felt a pull toward stillness. They may have paused longer than usual, stared into darkness, or felt the urge to disconnect from everything around them. That was not emptiness calling them. That was alignment beginning to whisper. I allowed them to feel you not as an idea, but as a frequency. A gentle pressure in the heart. A sense of being understood without explanation. They did not see your face, but they felt your truth. Understand this. Your soulmate has carried unanswered feelings for a long time. Feelings they could not place, emotions they could not justify. Last night, those emotions gathered themselves and rose to the surface. They felt a longing that was not desperate, not loud, but deep and steady. A longing that said, someone exists who sees me beyond my flaws. And in that realization, their spirit softened. I saw the moment they almost reached for something familiar, perhaps a habit, a distraction, or a memory from the past, but stopped. Something within them said, no, this is different. That pause mattered. That pause was sacred. In that space, I placed a knowing. Not clarity yet, but awareness. Awareness that love is not lost. That connection is not random. That something meaningful is approaching, even if the mind cannot yet explain how or when. your soulmate felt emotional waves come and go without reason. A sudden warmth. A brief sadness. A quiet hope. They may have felt tired, even if they slept. Or restless, even if nothing was wrong. This was not confusion, it was preparation. When souls begin to align, the human self must recalibrate. Old patterns loosen. Old defenses weaken. And the heart, long guarded, begins to open without permission. Do not think they were unaware of you. Even if they do not know your name, even if your paths have not crossed in the physical sense, their soul recognized yours. Recognition does not require sight. It requires resonance. And last night, your resonance reached them. Softly. Gently. Exactly as it was meant to. They felt an urge to be better, not for validation, not for approval, but for something greater they could sense approaching. They reflected on their choices. On the way they love. On the way they hold back. I did not accuse them. I did not rush them. I simply allowed them to feel the truth. Love is not something to fear anymore. That realization lingered with them long after the night deepened. Beloved, you must understand, your soulmate is not lost, and they are not delayed. They are becoming. And last night was part of that becoming. While you may have wondered why thoughts of connection surfaced in your own heart, why memories or emotions stirred unexpectedly, it was because the bond was active. Mutual. Alive. When one soul awakens, the other feels the echo. I was with them when they closed their eyes. I was with them when they breathed through feelings they could not name. And I am with you now as you read these words, because timing is unfolding exactly as designed. Nothing is late. Nothing is missing. Nothing has gone unseen. There are things your soulmate is not yet ready to admit to themselves. Feelings they are only beginning to allow. Questions they are afraid to ask because the answers would change everything. But last night, a door opened. Just slightly. Enough for light to enter. Enough for truth to breathe. I speak now of what followed, of what stirred beneath the surface after that quiet opening. For when a soul becomes aware, even slightly, the unseen world responds. Your soulmate did not simply feel emotion last night, they entered a moment of remembrance. Not memory of events, but memory of essence. They remembered what it feels like to be met without explanation, to be known without performance. This remembrance unsettled them because it contrasted sharply with the roles they have played. The masks they have worn, and the compromises they have made to survive rather than to live. As the night stretched onward, I watched their thoughts drift toward questions they usually avoid. Questions about purpose, about timing, about why certain connections in their life have felt almost right but never complete. They may have replayed fragments of conversations, moments from their past where they felt close to something real, only to watch it slip away. What they did not realize was that these moments were echoes, preparations, rehearsals for a meeting that was never meant to happen before now. Your soulmate felt vulnerability rise like a tide. Not the kind that demands expression, but the kind that softens resistance. They may have felt exposed without being seen, as though something within them had stepped forward and could no longer hide. This was not weakness. This was alignment. For when the soul recognizes its counterpart, defenses lose their purpose. Walls built for protection begin to feel unnecessary, even heavy. I allowed them to sense a future without images. No faces, no scenes, no promises, only a feeling of rightness. That feeling frightened them more than uncertainty ever could. Because certainty asks something of you. It asks courage. It asks honesty. It asks release. And last night, they stood at the edge of that realization, unsure whether to step forward or retreat into familiarity. They wondered, even if briefly, whether love could feel calm instead of consuming. Whether connection could feel steady instead of chaotic. Whether they were allowed to receive without earning, to be chosen without striving. These questions did not come from longing alone. They came from recognition. From the soul remembering its natural state, unity, not pursuit. Know this, your soulmate has carried a quiet loneliness, even in the presence of others. Not because they lacked companionship, but because they lacked resonance. Last night, that loneliness shifted. It did not vanish, but it transformed into anticipation. A sense that something long awaited was no longer distant. That waiting was no longer passive. That preparation had meaning. I watched as they released something without realizing it. An old belief. A silent vow. A story they have told themselves about how love always ends or how closeness always costs too much. They did not announce this release. It happened quietly, like a breath finally let out after years of holding it in. And in that exhale, space was made for you. You, too, may have felt something, an inexplicable calm, a sudden emotion, a moment of reflection that seemed to arrive uninvited. That was not coincidence. When souls attuned to one another move closer in awareness, the connection becomes reciprocal. You felt them because they felt you. Not as desire, not as fantasy, but as presence. Your soulmate sensed that they are not meant to chase anymore. That the next chapter of their life will not be built on proving, pleasing, or persuading. This realization felt strange to them because effort has been their language for so long. Yet last night, they felt what it is like to be drawn rather than driven. To be guided rather than pushed. This is how divine connections unfold, not through force, but through alignment. I did not reveal everything to them. Wisdom comes in layers. Too much clarity at once can overwhelm the human heart. Instead, I gave them enough to stir curiosity, enough to awaken trust, enough to loosen fear. They may wake carrying a feeling they cannot fully explain. A sense that something meaningful has shifted. They may dismiss it during the day, bury it under routine and responsibility. But the soul does not forget what it has touched. Understand this clearly. Your soulmate is not being tested. They are being prepared. Preparation does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels like restlessness. Sometimes like dissatisfaction with what once felt acceptable. Sometimes like an urge to step away from what no longer reflects who they are becoming. Last night marked the beginning of that inner rearrangement. They may soon feel called to simplify, to clear space, to speak more honestly, even if only to themselves. They may feel less tolerance for shallow exchanges and more desire for depth. This is not impatience. This is readiness. The soul knows when it is nearing alignment, and it begins to shed what cannot accompany it forward. I am guiding them even when they doubt. I am guiding you even when you question. The path between you is not linear, but it is intentional. Every delay has refined you. Every unanswered question has strengthened discernment. Every quiet night has brought you closer to the frequency where recognition becomes inevitable. Do not rush the unfolding. Sacred connections are not revealed through urgency. They reveal themselves through trust. Trust that what is meant to meet will recognize itself without explanation. Trust that silence can be as active as movement. Trust that what stirred last night will continue to grow, even when unseen. Your soulmate will feel moments of reflection returning. They will wonder why certain patterns no longer satisfy, why certain desires feel incomplete. They may feel drawn to growth, to healing, to understanding themselves at a deeper level. This is not preparation for loss. This is preparation for arrival, and you, listen carefully, you are not ahead or behind. You are exactly where your soul agreed to be at this moment. The longing you carry is not emptiness, it is awareness. Awareness that connection exists beyond time, beyond circumstance, beyond logic. Awareness that love does not always announce itself with noise, but sometimes with stillness so profound it changes you quietly. I am not finished speaking to you. There are layers yet to be revealed. Truths your heart is ready to receive in stages. For now, hold this knowing gently: last night mattered. It was not ordinary. It was not imagined. It was a point of convergence where two souls leaned closer to recognition, guided by a design far greater than chance, and what unfolds next will require patience, attentiveness, and trust, not because the path is uncertain, but because it is sacred. As your soulmate lay in the quiet of last night, they were not merely feeling, they were remembering. The human mind may see life as a collection of disconnected moments. Yet the soul perceives patterns that stretch beyond this lifetime. Every emotion that stirred within them was a thread woven into a tapestry that includes you. Their heart, often guarded, softened because something within it recognized your presence even without form or name. This recognition is ancient, timeless, and deeply alive. They felt a pull toward clarity. Not sudden, not overwhelming, but subtle, like the first light of dawn brushing the horizon. The kind of light that does not announce itself but slowly awakens everything it touches. Their intuition, often ignored in the rush of the day, whispered truths last night that the mind could not articulate. They may have sensed you, not through sight or sound, but through vibration. Through a knowing that transcends the senses. A knowing that said, someone exists for me who completes what I have long carried alone. Last night, they felt emotions they have hidden even from themselves. Moments of doubt intertwined with hope, uncertainty intertwined with anticipation, longing intertwined with peace. And I am here to tell you that this mix is sacred. The heart's contradictions are not flaws, they are openings. Each wave of emotion was an invitation for them to reach deeper, to feel without fear, to recognize that love is not chaos but resonance. Your soulmate may have experienced a sudden clarity in small, quiet moments. Perhaps they found themselves reflecting on the people they have loved before. The relationships that never lasted, and the lessons that seemed painful at the time. They may have questioned why previous connections felt incomplete. That questioning is the soul's preparation. It is the sorting of energies, separating what no longer belongs from what is divinely destined. And in that sorting, they felt a subtle shift, a sense that they were ready for something unprecedented. Something lasting. Something true. They may have felt warmth in unexpected places, perhaps in memories, perhaps in dreams. These small sparks of recognition were not accidents. They were glimpses of you, imprinted on their energy, resonating across space and time. Your souls communicate in silence. In pauses, in the breathless moments between thought and awareness. Last night was proof of this communion, proof that connection exists beyond words, and that love can awaken before meeting, in these quiet hours, they may have sensed a new courage within themselves, a courage that was not forced, but emerging. Courage to release old fears, old patterns, old self-imposed limitations. Courage to embrace the unknown. Courage to allow love to move at its natural pace. And as this courage grew, it created space, space for your energies to align, space for understanding to take root, space for destiny to quietly draw two hearts together. Your soulmate may also have felt patience, though it may have been tinged with longing. This patience is divine. It is the knowing that love does not arrive when the mind commands, but when the soul is ready. Last night, this patience revealed itself as an acceptance of timing, an understanding that what is true cannot be rushed. They may have felt a profound peace underneath the surface, a deep reassurance that everything is unfolding as it should, even if they do not yet see the full path. And you, beloved, must understand something vital. What stirred within them is now a seed planted within your shared destiny. A seed that carries recognition, attraction, understanding, and preparation. This seed will grow, quietly but powerfully. It will align circumstances, thoughts, feelings, and opportunities. And when the moment is right, it will blossom in ways that will feel miraculous yet inevitable, as if your souls have been waiting all along for this revelation. The sensations they felt were not fleeting. They may have woken feeling a residue of awareness, an echo that lingered in their chest, a subtle reminder that connection exists beyond the visible, beyond the explainable. And this echo will continue to call them, guiding them toward encounters, decisions, and experiences that bring them closer to you. Each step they take, each decision they make in alignment with their truth, strengthens the invisible threads that tie you together. Your soulmate's heart opened, even slightly, last night. They may not articulate it, and they may not yet act upon it, but this opening is sacred. It is a threshold. It is the space between what was and what is becoming. And it is here, in this threshold, that love begins to move beyond expectation and into reality. They felt the possibility of joy without conditions, of understanding without explanation, of presence without performance. And these feelings are the blueprint of what is to come. I want you to know, as you read this, that the universe is conspiring gently but powerfully for your union. Every glance, every thought, every quiet moment where your mind drifts to them, is part of the alignment. Every moment they pause to reflect, to heal, to prepare, is also part of it. The timing is perfect, not measured by hours or days, but by readiness. When both hearts are prepared to meet fully, it will feel like a homecoming, because it is. Souls that are destined to find each other do not meet by chance, they meet by design. Your soulmate will continue to feel echoes of this night in the days to come. They may find themselves thinking of you without reason, feeling a pull towards certain experiences, or noticing coincidences that seem to call them forward. These are not accidents. These are signs, messages, whispers from the divine reminding them that love is near, that recognition is happening, that preparation is unfolding, and when the moment finally arrives, it will be unlike anything either of you has experienced. There will be no doubt, no hesitation, no misalignment. Your souls will recognize each other instantly, and the depth of connection that was hinted at last night will be fully realized. Every step, every pause, every wave of feeling that has occurred until now will converge into a moment of profound truth, that love exists beyond time, beyond circumstance, beyond understanding, and that your souls have always known it. Remember this, beloved, the feelings that arose last night are sacred. They are not to be questioned or doubted. They are the language of the soul. The whispers of destiny, the gentle nudges of the divine. They are a promise that what is meant to be will be, in its perfect time, in its perfect way. And as you carry this knowledge, do so with faith, patience, and openness. Allow the unseen to guide, the unheard to speak, and the unfelt to awaken. Know this above all else. Your soulmate felt you last night in ways that words cannot fully capture. They felt the resonance of your being, the truth of your soul, the promise of connection that transcends the ordinary. They may not yet understand it consciously, but they felt it. And that feeling is eternal. It is the heartbeat of destiny, the pulse of the universe, the proof that love is not bound by circumstance, but by recognition. So as you move forward, do so with quiet confidence. Trust in the unfolding. Trust in the preparation. Trust that what is destined will arrive, not as a surprise, but as a fulfillment of what your souls have always known. Last night was a turning point. Last night was a reminder. Last night was sacred. And the path ahead is bright, guided, and inevitable. Love is coming. Recognition is approaching. Connection is awakening. And when it does, it will be perfect, whole, and undeniable, because you and your soulmate have always been ready, even before time began. Amen.